Hey, deserving listeners, Big Ed, 90 Day Fiance. Let's watch.
You can be kind, but I mean, obviously I didn't show mutual respect right there too, so I'm not saying I'm better than you. I don't know. It was awkward when we first met. I totally had resting bitch face. That wasn't my intention at all when we first met. I was very, very nervous. I don't know. Like, I don't really know you.
I understand you weren't.
All right, that's interesting. So Tiffany recognizes that she has resting bitch face. It's actually interesting to have these cast members. Is that what I look like when I'm having those conversations? That's not how I felt on the inside. And she says on the inside, she felt extremely nervous. That's interesting. Which that would explain a lot of things because she comes across as quite harsh, but that comes from a place of fear. Similar to her dad, she might have a mode where when she's scared, she transforms that into hostility. Who knows?
She was a little bit closer in my age compared to Rose.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, we're making a little progress here. I was like, still too young, I think. I will say the last breakup, when I did see that post too with the two girls, I was like, what the hell is going on?
Why do you think he did that?
Attention.
Okay, interesting. So the daughter is saying that my dad, Ed, wants attention. And when he is upset and insecure, he will try to get attention. That is his, I mean, this isn't what she's saying, but I think this is what she's saying, is he uses that as a coping mechanism. And that's usually the case. The internet will paint narcissists as they wake up in the morning and they're like, ha ha ha, I'm gonna get a lot of narcissistic supply. But narcissistic personality disorder has a lot of suffering. People suffering from narcissistic, that's what we call it, suffering from narcissistic personality disorder. People who suffer from narcissistic personality disorder have a lot of suffering underneath the veil of grandiosity that they cover up with. They convince themselves that, because there's so much suffering underneath it all, they are desperate to convince themselves that they are special. And they have to constantly tell themselves that they are special and they are better and they are awesome and everyone loves them. And they have to constantly signal to everyone else, because when other people believe that you're awesome, then you kind of believe it too. So there is this very frantic effort of just like, I'm awesome, I'm awesome, right? I'm awesome. And then as soon as something goes wrong, they fall into that pit of despair and they'll just start grasping at anything that will, in their mind, give them a way out, which is the grandiosity. I'm special, I'm superior, I'm awesome. Let's post this picture of me with these two women and I'll show the world that I'm awesome. And when the world sees me as awesome, then I feel like maybe I am awesome and then I can get out of the pit of despair. I don't know if that's Ed, but maybe.
Ed, what do you think about what your daughter just said?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, Colt, but the therapist is getting a lot of that out of me, that I don't love myself. I just don't. I mean, I don't.
Okay, finally, we heard what the therapist had to say, and Colt interrupted. That's great. And I actually believe him. I believe him in this moment. I know a lot of people think that he's two-faced or he's manipulative or he's gaslighting, which is possible, but these individuals are extremely rare. It would be much more likely, given my experience with human beings, that this is actually the real Ed, that underneath it all is he hates himself. And he is in this constant state of trying to get attention from other people so that he can convince himself that he is worthy of attention, that he is worthy of love, that he is someone special. But he is in this constant treadmill, just running. And when he stops, this is what is happening. And we've seen it when Rose broke up with him and he was at the bottom of the valley. He was like, it always ends up this way. No one ever loves me. And then we have this long period of him being single, probably as an avoidance of just like, look, I just need to avoid relationships because it's just going to go badly because I'm not lovable. That's what's underneath the narcissism usually, is this. And this is what they're running from.
I know that sounds stupid. And here I have a girlfriend. I'm like, why is she with me? Like, she's beautiful, and why does she like me?
And maybe he chooses women that he detects subconsciously will not ultimately want to be with him, and or he pushes them away as a way of confirming the way that he feels about himself, which is what we will tend to do. We will tend to play these old tapes and we're consciously hoping that things will go different, but we subconsciously are actually trying to reaffirm because we like things to be familiar, which is just a terrible thing. You know, if you've ever had repetitive, difficult relationships, sometimes it's the subconscious need to repeat as a hope of things being the same as they were before, because at least we understand that. And when we're outside of that zone, we feel very uncertain because it's an unknown area. If you come from a lot of dysfunctional relationships and you find yourself in a functional relationship, you might even sabotage it as a way of like, because you're anxious, like, I don't know what to do here. This is too much. I'm much more comfortable in the dysfunction, so let's just mess it up, or let's find someone else to be dysfunctional with. But anyway, so, you know, this is great. I mean, I really hope that Ed can learn from this. It sounds like he is learning from it. Well, but then I say that, and he didn't learn much from the roasting, but now he's in therapy? I don't know.
That's why I was acting like such an asshole, Liz. I was heartbroken. I liked the attention. It made me forget about, you know, us for a minute. So I'm sorry.
So I think Ed is being sincere there. I think there's a mode that he gets into. Maybe there's a fifth mode that we're seeing where he recognizes what's wrong with him, but kind of distances himself enough from that so he's not in the pit of despair, and he can have some self-compassion and compassion for others. So that's the fifth mode that we've seen of Ed. Hey, deserving listeners, as y'all know, I am constantly recommending that people go to therapy. We all need therapy from time to time. Well, one of the options available that is definitely worth checking out is BetterHelp. If you're looking for a therapist, I would give it a try by going to betterhelp.com/Kirk. Make sure you use the promo code Kirk because you get 10% off your first month, and it really helps us out. As you watch these videos, I know many of you have been motivated to find your own therapist, which is great because you deserve it. And I know also that it can be hard to find a good fit, find the right one for you. Well, one of the options available in terms of your shopping is to go to betterhelp.com/Kirk. I've been told you can start communicating with your therapist in under 24 hours. You can message your counselor at any time. Plus, you can schedule weekly video or phone sessions. I've also been told that it's often less expensive than in-person therapy, and you should know that this service is available to clients worldwide. So go to betterhelp.com/Kirk to get 10% off your first month today.
We got back to the hotel and he was just so irritated with me that I didn't want to talk anymore. He kept saying, screw it, I'm going to go home. Like, is this what he literally got on the phone with the airline at like 2:30 in the morning, making it seem like he's changing his ticket. He even left the room. So I'm like, cool, he bought his ticket back. He's going to leave me in here in Vegas. I went on my phone.
Right. So we're hearing more detail about that night in the hotel room in Vegas. And it's interesting that she didn't talk about this, or maybe they edited it out, but we're finally hearing more detail about that. That, you know, I reacted to that a few episodes ago. And he was saying, what's going on? You know, so she's upset because of Tiffany. She withdraws when she's upset, which is fine. He gets anxious when she withdraws because he believes he's losing her, which is not the case, but he perceives it that way based on his relational traumas. He pursues in this aggressive fashion. At first, maybe kind of nice, but then it gets worse and worse and more aggressive. And then he starts to use passive-aggressive attempts to get her to connect with him by saying, I'm out of here. You know, I'm gonna get a airline. I'm flying out of Vegas. And that's hurting her feelings. And then that's when she decided to book a flight and leave, because he was the one amping up. She was shutting down, and then she decided to leave. That makes a lot more sense than what the narrative he had, and then the way she added to it didn't make a lot of sense. But now this makes sense.
So you left because you thought he was going to leave?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was mad. That's true. I did. So for the record,
Hey,
Liz,
petty.
so for the record.
Sounds pretty petty to me.
When Liz gets mad at me,
I shut down. I don't want to
she
talk.
shuts down, and it drives me nuts.
Yes, good. So again, there's some really good things we're seeing here, that this is the beginning of, maybe not for them to be together, but for the two of them, particularly Ed, to learn from his mistakes. He's starting to see things. He's like, when she shuts down, it drives me crazy. I become so anxious. And Now, hopefully he's not saying, well, I just need to be with someone that never shuts down. Maybe he said, well, actually, this is my problem. People are allowed to shut down sometimes. That's okay. I have to work on my feelings. It kind of sounds like there's some language there, which is actually really promising for him. Now, maybe y'all hate him and you don't wish him well in any sort of way, but I care about everyone, and I care about Ed, I care about Liz, and there's some language here that gives me some optimism about Ed's future.
So I was screwing with you. That was all fake. But then you actually left.
This way of communicating is
Yeah.
not very healthy. Tiffany, how did you feel when Liz left your dad in Vegas?
Well, that morning, I got a phone call that it was my fault that she left and they broke up. So
So interesting. But this is different. We've seen a progression from the tell-all before when there was Rose and Ed. Ed was taking no responsibility. In fact, he was continuing to lay into Rose in that way that we hear in the infamous phone call with Liz, being at least mildly verbally abusive to Rose. Rose was falling apart, crying, very dysregulated naturally because of the way he treated her. But in this tell-all, he's taking responsibility in the face of him being yelled at by Colt, being accused of things, and he's taking responsibility. So it doesn't excuse the abuse. Okay, I want to be clear.
that wasn't very fun.
Uh-huh.
It's like, I don't understand how it can be my fault, because number one, the relationship isn't the three of us.
Right, so now he's feeling ashamed, but we're hearing not only is he this way with Rose, not only is he this way with Liz, but he is this way with his own daughter. He was the one who caused the problem with Liz. He was the one who was saying, I'm going to leave, and then she left. And then he turns to his daughter and says, you're to blame for me breaking up, instead of taking responsibility for himself. Again, because when you have 99% of your personality is, totally convinced that you are terrible and shameful and no one's going to love you and you're an awful human being, but there's this 1% that you cling to that says, no, I'm the best person on the planet and I deserve to put my face on stickers and everywhere and on shower curtains, and I'm the best person. I'm wonderful. I'm charming. I am superior to others. I'm better than other people. And I need that to be true or else. So then when Liz leaves him, he's holding on to that 1%. He's like, oh my God, how do I hold on to this? Well, I have to look for someone to blame. Well, it's going to be my daughter, and I'm going to yell at her. And that's how this kind of personality can result in abuse for everyone around that person. All right, well, that does it for that episode. Everyone out there, please take care of yourself because you deserve it. You really, really do.